Hey, what's up guys? Ryan Riggin here with Answer Media.
Jim Passantino with Ecomm Benchmarks. Good to be back.
And we're here with episode, 3 of Armchair Ecomm, where we're going to dig into today one of our favorite, or at least my favorite, and I know it's probably Jim's favorite too, e-commerce brands, a company called Rally House, rallyhouse.com. Started as Kansas Sampler, which is a local set of stores selling fan gear, right? Jerseys, for all the local teams, and they've expanded nationally. Killer business. And today we're going to do a deep dive into some of the things that we see on their site and go from there. So a couple housekeeping items. If you would like to be featured on the show, drop us a note at answermedia.com/audit or hit us up on the socials and we can get you guys lined up so that we can dig into your brand. One thing to note is that these things are are a lot more effective if we can dig into analytics and see kind of under the hood. For this one today, we're going to be looking at things that we can see publicly, but we'd love to do a deep dive under the hood and see what kind of opportunities we can uncover and honestly learn, for our clients and just for our own experience. So I guess let's dig in. Jimmy, you've been in Kansas City your whole life. What's your Rally House story?
I remember Rally House when they originally started off as Kansas Sampler. I guess they were local shop. I want to say they started maybe in like Prairie Village, Mission Mall, something like that. I feel like I've been in there and checked out their store, but they've grown from there. I think that my guess here, I don't know the history and the story of all this, but my guess is that Kansas Sampler proved a model for what would work here in Kansas City. Was very successful, and since then they have taken that model and grown it outside of Kansas City. And when they did that, the brand of Kansas Sampler, doesn't really work in other places.
It's hard to sell Mizzou gear to somebody from a Kansas Sampler place. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're not. I'm guessing on all this, but so now they're Rally House. I think when I think of Rally House, it's a great brand. I love going in the store. A great shopping experience. Super helpful. Every kind of product you could imagine for your team, your city. The in-store experience is great. The digital online experience, which is what we're going to be reviewing today, good. I think there's some opportunity to make it better, and there's some things that they're doing really well too. So we're going to cover what they're doing in the ad space, it looks like from what we can tell, what platform they're built on, what tools they're using. And then we'll take a look at the website experience and kind of walk through that as well too.
Yeah, so I have a cool Rally House story that I'll share, and we can edit it out if it gets too long. But so my aunt and uncle are huge KU fans, and they have a thing at their place for the NCAA tournament every year. And they call it the national holiday. Like, they do not work those 2 days. The first 2 days of the NCAA tournament is like, you don't go to work that day. And over the last 25, 30 years, it's become a thing where they just open their front door and they have a bar in the basement, and it's kind of like, come in and, beers in the fridge, let's watch some basketball kind of a thing. So I go every year, and I don't miss it except for this last year with COVID. But over the years, it's become a tradition for me, and my aunt jokes with me about it, but I stop at the Rally House in Lawrence and buy something new, like buy a new piece of KU gear every year. So that's kind of like my Rally House tradition is on the way from Kansas City to Topeka, which is where my aunt and uncle live. Every year, like clockwork, I get a new piece of gear at Rally House. Another thing that we were just talking about pre-show here is that I get stuff from Rally House a lot for gifts, and never once have I had an issue with a return or an exchange. I mean, a lot of times I get stuff that's the wrong size or maybe not the right style, but people constantly, a lot of people get me KU gear, and I every time I take it back, they, without question, no questions asked, store credit. Never a fuss, never have to have a receipt. So, the in-store experience there is great and kind of a, staple here in the Kansas City community. But like Jim said, there are, we think we love this brand. We think there's some opportunities digital, and we're going to dig into those. So where do you want to start?
Let's take a look at what they're doing in social and in the ad space.
All right, so we're going to pull up Facebook. We're going to pull up their ad library. If you didn't know any brand, you can look at their Facebook page and see what ads are running. One thing that jumps out here immediately is that we could probably talk about this for a half hour, but they've they've deployed this strategy of having a different page for every location in every city, which, you know, I don't know what you think about that. I think there's probably some pluses to it. There's probably a reason why they did it, but man, it seems like a massive hassle.
Yeah, I would imagine each page is managed locally, following some type of brand guidelines that they have. But when you're going out there, you're looking for a Rally House like Ryan was just doing. You search Rally House and you see, you know, dozens of results. I don't know that every single location, they have like 70 plus locations now, I think. I don't know that every single location has its own Facebook page, but you know, the struggle that Ryan was talking about is, you know, in a perfect world, it would be great to have everything under one page and kind of consolidate everything down, one message that goes out to everybody.
Yeah.
The challenge with that is that not every store, not every location wants to send out the same message.
Yeah.
You know, right now the message in Kansas City with the Chiefs being in the playoffs and all the buzz about that is a very different message than what you're going to see somewhere else, especially other cities that have a team in the playoffs. You know,
yeah, that's a good example.
Your team, your branded content out there.
Yeah, but this is interesting. Like I just searched for Rally House, and it seems like here, this post here, you know, this is their national page. It looks like. You know, there's Dodgers gear on there, but every location, or sorry, every geo, you know, has its own page. It looks like. Actually, that doesn't look like it's true. So these are all.
They may
have consolidated
grouped by location.
Yeah.
Maybe multiple stores are represented by a single page.
It actually looks like on Facebook they have. Yeah, here it is. Check this out. So they have the brand page is Rally House.
Right, that's the one with the most followers. It looks like they have 25,000 followers on that page.
And then each location has a Facebook location. So that strategy is probably pretty well organized.
Yeah, I don't know of a better way to do it. It's just difficult to manage, not the best experience for the consumer, but I don't know if there's a better way to do it. So it just adds a layer of complexity.
Now Instagram's a bit different play because they have, you know, if you search for Rally House here, you're going to get each. It looks like they've tried to mirror that, but each location has its own handle. So like this is the brand page, and then this is the location page. So I could see where that could probably be a problem. Like this is the Power and Light location. You know, and all this content is about events that happen in the Power and Light district. But then they've got, this is also interesting too, they have hashtags for every, for every market. So, you know, if you go to Rally House, Rally House Detroit, there's a lot of content on there about, you know, the Detroit teams, Michigan State, what's that? Michigummies? Whatever. Anyway, so this could be a tricky thing to manage. I'd love to dig into how, you know, the behind the scenes on that from an ad targeting standpoint, audience development, social influencer, all that. That's probably a pretty tricky thing to deal with. So this is their Facebook ad library. Unless I'm missing it, this seems like a bit of an issue for me. That there's only 5 or 6 ads running that I can see.
So is this on their corporate page or is this like their local Kansas City page?
This is the brand page.
25,000.
And I'd be shocked if it makes me wonder why they're not running ads for Chiefs gear, right? Like it's playoff season. That surprises me that there's not active ads for the Kansas City market for Chiefs stuff. Unless I'm missing it or unless it's on a different page, but Rally House Oak Park, this is the physical location at Oak Park Mall in Kansas City, no ads there. So I'm surprised that there aren't any active ads that are live during the playoffs. I mean, I'd expect to see however many teams are left, you know.
Yeah, I'm not sure how this business model works. I don't know.
Maybe they're, I mean, I don't know. Is this a franchise, do you know?
But that's what I'm guessing is that like the corporate maybe is not going to run ads locally because it's up to the local franchise in order to run those.
Yeah.
But if you are the corporate presence for Rally House, which ad you would think they would at least run ads for kind of what's hot right now. The NFL playoffs are what's in, but we go to their page and we see LA Dodgers gear on their Facebook page for the corporate. So I don't know. I think there's probably part of this that we could skip over because we're guessing as to why they're doing things the way that they're doing it. Really, we don't know.
Yeah.
And it may make sense the way they're doing it.
I would still expect to see a lot of playoff stuff here. I mean, if you look at their competitors, all right, if you go to Fans Edge, let's see what we see. That's interesting. Okay, so they have 14,000 followers, national title post from, what is that, Monday night?
Yeah, relevant.
Colts, they got bounced Saturday. Another Bama post. Was that team? Oh, was that the Charger? Or no? Oh, NHL just started, right? Tampa Bay Lightning. A lot of Bama, college football playoff stuff. Oakland A's, that's interesting. What happened? Still no playoff stuff, though. Oh, wait, there's Bears. Yeah. Knicks, NBA just started. So, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of shocked that the Rally House page isn't littered with playoff gear right now. But, like Jim said, maybe there's something else we're missing. I definitely would put that in the opportunities list. Let's dig into their tech stack. You want to go there next?
Sure.
I'll let you.
So we're going to bring up Built With. So builtwith.com, you can go to. It's a free site. You can type in any URL you want, any domain, and it will go through and kind of analyze the site and tell you what tools, what platform, what applications, plugins are all running on there and tell you everything about it. So on here, we're looking at rallyhouse.com again. So analytics-wise, Bronto, the first one that comes up, is not one that I'm familiar with. I'm guessing Google Analytics is probably the primary analytics tool that they use. Are you familiar with Bronto?
Bronto's like a market. It's like an enterprise version of like Marketo, and sits in that space. It is super expensive, very, very powerful, but I'm not sure about it.
Okay.
They have all the standard stuff installed, Google Analytics, Bing. They are using Inspectlet, which is kind of interesting. I mean, that's a session recording tool similar to what's the one that we use? Gosh,
like Hotjar.
Hotjar, yes, yeah. So I mean, whoever's running this site. There's our boys again at Fawn Awesome. Whoever's running this site is. Compiling and collecting a ton of data, which is great.
As you scroll through here, what we're kind of learning about this and the stack that they're running is, I think a lot of this is custom built.
I think that's what would concern me the most. I mean, NetSuite here and the Ecomm platform says custom. So yeah, Jim, this is a custom build.
So they're not on a WordPress with WooCommerce. They're not on Shopify. They are on some tool, which I would imagine is a lot of homegrown code, and we'll kind of talk about the pros and cons of that as we go through.
Yeah, let's dig into it. What do you do? I'll do the pros, you do the cons, or you want to do the other way around?
Sure.
Okay, so the pros of custom built, right? You can build whatever you want. You have full control, 100% control of the database, 100% control over your servers, the entire stack, everything. You own it. You can do everything that you want. That's kind of the argument for it. And a lot of times too, you don't have to pay, $20,000 a month for some tool to sit on your site. You build it one time and you don't have to, license it for a 20-year time frame. So there are some good things about custom built code. I guess the third thing would be, your dev team over time can just get really good at your stack and, do it your way. But the downsides are...
Downsides are your everything that you want to have on your site, you are building yourself. You are not adding apps from the Shopify app marketplace. You're not adding plugins from WordPress and so forth. Also, the more custom development that you do and put into your site, if you do eventually want to make the decision to move over to an enterprise e-commerce platform, say like a Shopify Plus or something, then that transition becomes much more difficult because you have so much custom code that you now have to figure out, how am I going to make this work on the new site? And so you're almost kind of starting from scratch when you move over to a new site. Eventually, from my experience, working with some really big brands as well as small ones, ultimately everybody eventually moves over to these larger platforms. You have all the benefit of community tools, community support for the platform.
That's a big one that I don't think a lot of people realize, is finding a developer that knows your stack is really challenging.
That's probably the biggest con, of custom development, is when you hire somebody new, they're learning a brand new platform, brand new code. That's got to be a long ramp up speed and difficult to manage.
Yeah, for sure. But,
we're giving some leverage there to the Rally House development team.
Yeah, we don't, we obviously don't know the story either, so who knows, what we're missing. But at the end of the day, this is a really sophisticated stack with a lot of, it looks like, custom code, built over a long period of time. These guys have been doing this for 20 years, probably. Okay, what's next? What are we missing here? So
let's take a look at the ads that they're running maybe on Google.
Yeah, so let's do a search for, so we do a search for, actually let's go back. We just did this pre-show. So we'll search for something random like 49ers jersey, okay? One thing that I noticed was that they do have a, their Google shopping infrastructure looks like it's set up. They have all they're listed here as a seller, but they're either not buying this term or they don't rank for this term, but they definitely sell this product. So I'd be interested to know, why Google thinks that these three guys should be listed and not Rally House. These are sponsored, that's why. But right here, Rally House doesn't come up until way down the line. And what I noticed was that it said the Kansas Sampler in the listing. I'll have to toggle down here so we go.
So in case you missed it in one of the previous episodes, Google Shopping has made drastic changes to how they present the results in the Google Shopping. So now across the top horizontally is where all the paid shopping ads show up.
Yeah.
And then below that in kind of the checkerboard layout is where the organic results will show up. Even for these organic results to show up, you have to have a shopping feed going from your store into Google. You just don't have to pay for the results there. And all of these they'll rank based on how well your shopping feed is optimized. You have to think about these results almost like you do an organic search result, which is, do I have the right title for the product? Do I have all the details for the product? Do I have good images for the product? Do I have ratings and reviews for the product? Those things all factor into the rank.
Yeah, and it definitely makes me wonder here. If you look at this listing here, so we're organic shopping only. We've got their location, or sorry, their seller handle filtered, and there's two different store names there. So this is the local store, and then this is the online store. So I'm kind of wondering how that's set up. If you click here, you're going to go out to the store and go into a product listing. But it's broken. So somewhere, let's just check this one here. So let's check one of these random ones. So this one here is set up, correctly. So it makes me wonder, it looks like somewhere along the way they've got some old legacy feeds wired up somewhere.
Yeah, I've seen some really weird behavior with the Google organic results too, where almost like Google is compiling some of these results from data that it has, knowing that this image goes with this SKU number or this GTIN and this title. And I swear I've seen results in there that were not in our shopping feed, like the wrong image with the wrong title, but Google has somehow pieced it together, and that may be why we're seeing some images in there with, or results in there with broken links.
At any rate, though, if you're not in Google Shopping and you just perform that search, Rally House is nowhere to be found here, in the shopping listings, and their competitors are buying that term. The top 3 listings there are search ads, and then Rally House is nowhere to be found organic either. So probably some big opportunity there. That's just one team. So there's 20 some odd teams or 32 NFL teams. There's 4 different major sports. I can imagine there's a lot of traffic being left on the table there. Probably a good segue into this little guy that we were looking at earlier. This is a content gap, and that's actually how we found the 49ers jersey. These are terms that Fanatics, we just picked them, Fanatics ranks for, but Rally House doesn't. So, there's 7,400 searches a month for the term 49ers jersey that Fanatics is ranking for, that Rally House isn't. And there's 63,000 keywords in this list. So, massive traffic opportunity here. College sweatshirts, some nice short tail terms with probably a boatload of traffic, but then also some really nice long tail, LeBron jersey, Messi jersey, Giannis Antetokounmpo jersey. There's a lot there. And that's just one competitor. So I think, organic shopping search strategy here could go a long way. Love to dive into that. Let's talk about content. You want to get into that a little bit?
Sure.
So, when I look at this here, this is a good example. So they have hashtags for every market, and they have profiles for every location, and each one. Now, I will say that this is structurally it's set up pretty well, right? Assuming that the idea of having the accounts for each location is what they're looking for. It does give you a nice way to segment out by market, because this hashtag is littered with Detroit, Lions, Michigan State, etc. However, what I do notice here is that if there were ever a brand that was sitting on a massive influencer opportunity, this would be it. Because there are, you search for any college. I'm just going to do it in real time here. Let's search for, hashtag Michigan. Well, actually, give me a team that's in the, it's basketball season, so Michigan State. So Michigan State hoops or basketball, whatever their handle is. Michigan State Spartans basketball. Michigan State basketball, 8,000 posts. There's a lot going on here. This is probably, this guy probably bought this at Rally House, right? Bought at Rally House. Actually, that might be one of their posts. I guess the point I'm getting at here, this guy's lifting weights in a Michigan State shirt. There's a lot of people that are very prideful about their school and are more than willing to flaunt it on social. Reaching out and developing a strategy to get those people to post on your hashtags with gear that's from your store could be, a massive opportunity that's being missed out on. Rather than having, if you go back to this look here, this is clearly brand driven, right? So I think if it were my money, that's where I would double down on the influencer space here without knowing anything else about the rest of the business, That's something that I see as a massive opportunity. You want to try to buy something on the site and see what their checkout flow looks like?
Yeah.
I need some Chiefs Zubas. Let's do it. So we'll go to NFL. I did notice this was a little funky on mobile. It didn't really collapse the right way.
Yeah. So before we even go into the product, so let's just kind of go through the funnel. So looking at like the home page and the landing page experience here. I think we'll kind of talk about this as we look at a lot of things on the website, but I think personalization on the website is a big opportunity here. So we're coming to this from Kansas City, and the first thing that we're seeing is kind of a collage of different, Philadelphia Flyers and other teams, none of which are relevant to us. And then it's also on a slider, so it goes from the collage to Alabama national champs, also not very relevant to us. So a couple of opportunities here. I know we're being critical, and there's more thought that you guys are putting into this than we are. But one, the sliders, tons of tests from a lot of different websites have proven that people don't really pay attention to anything beyond the first slide.
Yeah.
They don't get high visibility. They don't get very many clicks. And
they're pain in the ass on mobile.
And they typically the outcome of those tests that have been run is that it's better to focus on just one message, one image on your homepage rather than three. So rather than try and cater to every visitor to your site, you want to have one message for the visitor that comes. And as much as you can personalize that based on the visitor, and in this case, location is a huge level of personalization to add. So it would not be difficult to add a rule which says if visitor is coming, even on desktop, if visitor is coming from Kansas City, show this. Even if they're coming from the Midwest, show this. If they're coming, you don't have to have one maybe for every single location, every single city, but you can narrow it down with some personalization based on location.
And from a technical standpoint, like that's, it's definitely not trivial, but it's also not like a year-long project. Like to build that out would not be not be terribly difficult, and and to just take this slider here and get rid of it, not make it a slider, but throw up, I'm just spitballing in Kansas City, like right now, Chiefs, right? In a month and a half when it's basketball season, Mizzou, KU, that would be awesome. I mean, they may do that after someone's logged in too, but I kind of doubt it.
You can there's a tool, Google Optimize is a free tool. If you wanted to use that, you could put the rule in there and set it up, and anybody who's used Google Optimize before could have it done in 1 or 2 days, could have something that's ready for production.
Yeah.
The other thing on the site, to me, it's like very busy.
Yeah.
You've got, we're trying to like cater to everybody on this homepage, and so you've got so many different images, so many different links across the toolbar at the top. Yeah. The face masks, the hats, everything.
The countdown timer.
The countdown timer. I love countdown timers, but to me, this is just very busy. I think they would benefit from a single message with secondary message, and then links to get the other content that you're looking for.
Yeah, I think I agree. I'd be interested to see, how much of their traffic came from organic and what percentage of traffic their homepage represented. Maybe it's 5%, maybe it's 50%, who knows? They may get a ton of direct traffic. That's another thing. I bet they do too. I bet they get a lot of direct traffic. And I feel like I hear them on the radio, so they probably get a lot of brand awareness top of mind on the radio. People go to rallyhouse.com, so they probably do get a lot of direct traffic that hits this page. Probably an opportunity there. So
the face masks off to the top right, for example, if you're looking for something you can pull off the page to save up some real estate and make it a little bit less busy, the face masks are great. Everybody's interested in face masks right now. That is like the perfect upsell opportunity. After you're going through your cart, you may not be here shopping for a face mask, but to add a $10 or $15 face mask to your purchase would be a pretty simple upsell. I think that would get a good take rate.
Yeah, that would be a nice bundling opportunity. Remind me when we get to the checkout, I want to check if they have buy in store or pick up in store.
Okay. And they do. But all right, so we've been on this page here for 5 to 10 minutes. We have not been asked to subscribe, no email pop-up or anything. So, which I think that they did have that on there. I don't know why it's not popping up now. But if we scroll down to the bottom here to where in the footer usually there's a pop-up if somebody, or not a pop-up, but an email subscribe link. Is it in here anywhere?
I don't see it, but we're not going to find it. This is a clean. This is a clean session, so I don't think they have a pop-up on there.
No pop-up, but they have the email subscribe kind of buried down in here. So if you put in like tester.com, I want to go through this experience real quick. All right, so you enter it in there, and then you get the pop-up. which one looks like it has some formatting design maybe issues, but at this point I entered in my email. I don't know if I have been subscribed or not. It has my email address repeated there, and then it's asking for a ton of information. The information below I get, like the favorite team, I think that's an opportunity to personalize, right? To store that, to store it within your CRM and know that Ryan loves the Chiefs, the Royals, and the Generals.
Yeah.
So you can get that from here, but I don't know that the first name, last name, birthday, everything else is quite as necessary. You can get that over time. The other thing is, the design, I guess, of it.
Yeah, it just doesn't look very clean.
It doesn't look very clean, and I don't know if you submit it, if it's going to work or not.
I don't know. Let's try. Yeah, I'm not sure if it went through or not. So
this is a huge opportunity, and again, like not trying to be too critical, but email is for any e-commerce business. Email is one of your biggest opportunities. It's one that takes a lot of time. You have to invest. You have to be patient. But if you build up your email list over time, like for Rally House,
lifetime value, man. I mean, acquisition is great. Retention is where it's at. Like this brand could crush it, retaining customers this way. I mean, I can tell you right now, I've bought at least, I don't know, $500 worth of stuff from Fanatics this year, I bet.
Yeah.
And all from email. Like I get emails, a new Royals pullover, a new whatever. There's gold in these hills. I'd love to help them find it. So that's a good catch, man. Wow.
I think this is the pop-up that I got the other day when I came out here, and it's not popping now, but it clearly something not quite right there. So, okay, we know we'll move on.
That's a big opportunity. Well, so now I click it and it goes through. So,
I did not get that when I looked at it the other day, but still some formatting. So maybe they're in the middle of a fix or a build or something. All right.
Okay, so let's try to buy something, man. I need some new Chief Zubas. So let's go. So I think we just sat there talking about how the homepage banner didn't work, and I'm gonna buy these Chief Zubas right now. Of course, it was on slider 3, so and I was thinking about it before. So let's see how long it takes me to find them. You wanted to talk about search, so
we've talked about some of the things where we think there's opportunity. All right, now we're getting the pop-up. Try and fill this one out.
Interesting. I wonder if that's the same pop-up or if it's
definitely a different design, different pop-up. I don't know if it's going to the same system or not.
Probably should have put my real name in there.
This is not going to work. All right, so
invalid email address.
Yeah,
that's definitely my email address or valid email.
Okay, I went through with my valid email address as well too, and I was getting errors. So something's
off. Yeah. All right. Search. You wanted to talk about search.
Yeah, I think it actually has a really good search experience. They have so many products and SKUs. I've kind of tested it out a little bit and searched for even random stuff. Like I searched for coffee mug and I just put in mug. I put in coffee mug. I put in Kansas coffee mug. I put in KU coffee mug. Each time it brought back the results that I would expect to see. I don't know what tool is behind this, if this is Google site search or if this is something different, but I do think that they have a pretty good search experience built in. A number of filters off to the left where you can sort and filter further, but
let's get into some product inventory mapping stuff. But check this out. A pair of Zubas for $41.99. Another pair over here for $31.99. What's the difference?
I have no idea. Maybe different.
Same pants. Interesting. This is.
Is it the exact same pant?
I mean, it sure look. Well, no, actually not. This one doesn't have a drawstring, so.
Maybe different products.
Okay, so this is interesting. Pick up in store. That's nice.
Except
in
how
stock.
much space it takes up.
It does take up a ton of space.
You can search, put in a zip code, and it'll narrow it down for you. I would just either one, use location. Prompt the user to say this site would like to use your location, so that you can default to their current location. They don't have to search for it, or just let them search for it or filter for it.
Man, I would love to know what their conversion rate is. Looks like the related products are all pretty set up pretty well. No reviews. Seems interesting.
Yeah, actually, I noticed that on a lot of products.
Check this out. Add to cart. Broken. Or no, wait.
Here's the thing. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's not broken.
It's not.
It's adding it to my cart, but I had no idea that it was doing that. So now I have 5 of them added to my cart. Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, how do I? Oh, but now my cart's empty.
When you close that, it removed everything.
Cleaned them out.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
So these are the things when we were talking about a custom built application versus an enterprise application. One of the benefits of the enterprise application is one person is going to find this, they're going to report it, that app is going to fix it, and that theme is going to be fixed for everybody who's using that theme.
Yep. Yeah. I'm going to try to buy these same pants on Fanatics and see how different the experience is. Okay. I'm going here. I just got a pop up. I don't know if you saw it, but I'm going to try Chiefs Zubas. Here we go. They don't even carry them. So I stand corrected. All right, let's try to buy something at least. Large, add to cart. So this is what I like, okay? When you add something to cart, they take you right to the cart. You know, they don't waste any time. Like you want to buy these right now. If you want to continue shopping, you can continue shopping, but one click and I'm out, right? So that's, you know, massive opportunity there. I've already got a Kelsey jersey. That's also a women's jersey, so I'm not going to buy it. But actually, I don't have a Kelsey jersey.
Yeah, look at a number of payment options here as well, too. You can pay with credit cards, you can pay with PayPal, Google Pay, Fan Cash.
Yeah, versus over here. Let's see. Let's try to add it to the cart. So I'm going to add this to my cart. Okay, it's in my cart. I'm going to try to check out.
It's just too many clicks.
Well, yeah, so what happened? So
I think it's still, I'm guessing, is it not still loading?
Okay, so I want to go there. I want to view my cart. It's not taking me to my cart. View cart.
That button's grayed, so for some reason, even though there's something in the cart, it doesn't recognize it.
Okay, so how do I buy this?
I don't know, add the cart again and see if you put another one in there with that.
There's 2 in the cart right now.
Still can't.
Oh, you know what's going on here? Check this out. That takes me to my cart. The subtotal button. No, that wasn't right. Boy. Or, wait, am I in my cart already? It says cart in the URL.
Okay. This is, yeah, I don't know, because it looks like a product page, right? You're still, isn't that what the product page looked like?
Yeah, okay.
So that's why we're in the cart.
Maybe it's something to do with this product?
All right, so now when you add cart, now it will take you if you go up there a bit.
Yeah, something's off here. I mean,
maybe we may have never left cart and you clicked on that and did it just add it? I don't know, but it does feel like something's not quite right.
Just have to bring it to another browser session.
Okay, so we're on the product page now for sure. You can see from the URL,
I wonder if this is a Chrome bug.
I think this is
an issue.
An issue with the site.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try this in another browser. This might be a long episode, and we may want to edit some of this out because I don't want them to feel like we're calling them out. But okay, so here we are. This is not going to recognize who I am. Add these to cart. Yeah. And that took me where I wanted to go. So you think that's a Chrome bug?
My guess is that it's a site bug. I suspect that there's so much. Another challenge with the custom site is the browser fragmentation that's out there. Browsers behave differently, and what works on the tester's Safari browser is not going to work on a Chrome browser.
Boy. Okay. Yeah. Well. Anyway, long story short, we're not going to be in our Chiefs do this today, unfortunately. Maybe we'll
Can you
just-
get in the cart? Like, can we see checkout? Is it, you still, even if we go into a new browser,
Yeah.
were you able to get there before?
Nope. Oh, well, there's the checkout right there. Now I'm there.
All right. So let's look at the checkout options.
Summit Woods. Oh, so I didn't choose Summit Woods though. Or no, wait, yeah, I did. I put in my zip code.
Okay.
So that's our checkout. So it's just, long, pretty long. Probably looks pretty decent on mobile though.
It's kind of like it's formatted for, it's only
Mobile
one
first,
formatted for mobile, not for desktop. But
Yeah. Anyway, lots of opportunities. And again, this is one of those situations where there's a lot of, it's easier to be an armchair quarterback here. That's why we called this Armchair Ecomm. I mean, there's obviously lots going on here. So don't feel like we're calling you guys out. But it definitely feels like there's a lot of opportunity to take it to the next level. Let's summarize it here. The summary here of what I'm seeing is the three things. One, I see a massive content opportunity with influencer. They may be working on that strategy already, but they have a killer story, a killer brand. They got these people that will wear the gear. I think we should capitalize on that. Two is technical debt. You want to summarize that?
just like we've been talking about, the customization of the website makes it difficult to introduce changes without, one thing perhaps breaks something else. You don't get the benefit of having improvements or having fixes that maybe another user of that theme may have. And having that applied to your website.
Yep. And then just, on the ad side of things, saw a couple of opportunities in the Google shopping stack that were probably fixable. And then curious, why no ad content, given the fact that the Chiefs are getting ready to run it back. So, well, listen, thanks for listening. What we'll do is we might wrap this up and package it up, maybe, and send it over to somebody at Rally House. If you know anybody over there, hit us up. If you happen to catch this, answermedia.com/audit. Go Chiefs.